All right, guys, welcome back to another webinar. Thank you guys all for coming. Thanks for joining. Put your hands up if you guys have any questions. My name is Sujira Rabasha. We really appreciate you guys for coming. What we do is we help CEOs, speakers, founders really build their personal brands. I did a presentation at our networking group. So I went to a networking group and they start their networking at 6:30 in the morning, very early, very disciplined. And it was so powerful to be in that room. And it was that topic of trust. Now, I'm doing a keynote speech next week on that topic, but now with AI coming out with all these new advancements, everything that's happening, trust is needed now more than ever, right? How can I trust you? It's so powerful. And what you're going to see is your personal brand is really your only leverage, right? If you call me, what am I going to do? I'm going to go and Google who you are. And if I Google who you are, and let's say you are an aspiring keynote speaker, right? So a lot of the CEOs that we work with are aspiring keynote speakers. Some are emerging, some are already established, getting keynote bookings to be speaking on stages because keynote speaking is one of the most lucrative industries. I mean, instead of having, for example, you have meetings one on one, you're having one to many. And one to many is how you scale, right? And so if you can speak on stages and get paid for it, and then not only that, once you're speaking on stage, you're now bringing people into your business. That's incredibly powerful. So that's what this is all about. Like keynote speaking, for a lot of you guys, it's all about impact and how you can spread that message out to more people. So that's what this is going to be about today for the keynote speakers who want to be on stages more. We're going to tell you what it's like to be on the content side and the personal branding side. So for you to be continually getting those bookings, people need to have so much that they can see of you. And so what we come up with as well is a speaker reel. So we've been talking to a lot of speakers in the industry and saying, look, right, for you to get those bookings, the bureaus have to look at you. Other people have to know not only do you exist, but like they're gonna want to see something about you. What do you talk about? What are your keynote speeches about? Why should I pay you $5,000 to $10,000 for this keynote? This is the criteria we're looking for. We're looking for storytellers. We're looking for people who can come in and make an impact in our organization. They're gonna want to see that. They're gonna want to see a speaker reel, something that shows exactly what you talk about. I'll give you guys an example here. Let's go to YouTube, and this is incredibly important. So if you're an emerging speaker, you're a speaker out there, running a business, and let's say keynote speaking is, let's say, your revenue stream, and that's your core business. A lot of you guys, some of it is your core business. Some of you already have your business, but you're getting books for keynotes. You're getting books to go and talk. And for me, which will go into this, it's so valuable to have a camera there recording you because now you're getting that recorded in front of many people. It's authority content, and now people are going to just trust you more. So this is one of our clients here. We worked on her speaker reel. You can have a look here. Speaker reel. So boom, boom. So it's just a speaker rule we create about them, about what they are, what are they talking about, the inspiration that they can provide to people, through their keynote speech. So you can see it's really positioning them as not only the authority, but this is why you should book them. This is what they're talking about. This is who they are and what they represent and what they care about and what their values and their mission is. And for them, they're looking, okay, this can impact our business. But you see, it comes around content. She got us to document, right? We've been managing her podcast. So from there, we can now create something that shows, the people who want to book you for your next event, what you're about. And you need more of that. If I should go on your YouTube channel right now, if you tell me you're a keynote speaker, I should go on your YouTube channel and see so much content of you doing keynotes. I should see that. I should see you potentially have a podcast. I could see you educating, workshops. I should be able to see that. I should be able to see thousands of hours of content on your YouTube channel, right? There's no excuse. I gave an example in a lot of my networking this week. Kodak, these big companies that went bankrupt. Billion-dollar companies went bankrupt. Why? Because they didn't adapt. They didn't adapt to the times now. And the speakers who want to be visible, who want to get in constant bookings and get their calendar full, you will be replaced by the people who are more visible. You will be replaced by the people who just have more of a strategy than you. I'm not saying there's saturation. No, everyone has their divine light on the world. But at the end of the day, what's the difference between me choosing you to come and speak and me choosing this person? If this person's a key person of influence and they have so much content on the YouTube channel, everywhere I go on social media, I see them. When it comes to this topic, let's say that's empathy, let's say that's public speaking, let's say that's cybersecurity. When I think of that topic, I think of this person. That's who you want to be. Personal brand is also association. What do people associate yourself with? So even if you've never had keynote bookings before, if you've never been at that level, if you start to build your thought leadership portfolio, which means your social media content, what goes up on your LinkedIn, what's out there, if you build that very well, you will get to those stages where you can now start to be on stage. It could take you 10 years, it could take you 5 years. But what about if you go on that journey and you invest in this? And a lot of you, the CEOs that we work with and that you guys are here, you don't really have time to create content. So that's what we're going to go into here, how you as a speaker can just have a funnel full of content that just working for you in your sleep. So that pieces of content that people see on your podcast, on your LinkedIn profile, those short form clips, those clips are now making you $10,000, $15,000 because now a human resources person sees a clip from you, boom, yes, I've seen this speaker before. This is our food industry or whatever industry, boom, you can now get a keynote booking. And so you've made a maximum return on investment on that clip because you've just documented what you're doing. And that's why we always say you got to get good at the content. You got to get good at it. And by being good at it is authenticity and just showing people what you do, right? It's valuable. And let's actually show an example. So again, I like to practice what I preach. Let's just go here. So if we go here, this is just one CEO. Have a look at this. And it's interesting, paid to speak. So if you see this, for example, if we go down here, for example, here, let's click here, right? What is it? It's very simple. We're just documenting everything. You see, like this was, hey, you've been booked for a keynote. Okay, let's go. Let's document what you're doing. And now this is content that is out to the world. So now look, how to know what to watch out for when buying a business. So now this YouTube title is SEO. It's put out there. So when people are searching for these things, they can find this. So the more people come and see this is a 10, 20 year game. So this is how you get your path to being a speaker, is to being booked, is just by documenting it. And then so from here, we can break moments from this in many pieces of short form content that now can be published worldwide, can be run ads onto it, can be posted on your profile. And what does it come back to? Trust. If I've just come across this person, if this is you, and I want to book you for more keynotes, I can come in and see so much of a catalog of who you are, what you're about, what your mission is, what your values are. These are the people who get booked. It's the people who are more visible. Google owns YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, right? So I think with AI coming, a lot of you guys have asked questions. Even I had a question in regards to my thoughts on Google. And like, I think it's a big topic. Like the people at Google, they were panicking because even me now, I search on ChatGPT when I want to search for things on Google. I don't go to Google as my first place anymore, right? So think about all the companies who are spending money on ads, on Google ads. How sustainable will that be? Because what's going to happen when more people, again, are going to flood the ChatGPT? Again, I don't go to Google anymore when I look for things. If I want to go and find the best lawyer near me, myself, I go on ChatGPT. And most people are doing the same thing. So now, again, if your whole business is running on Google Ads, and now if there's not as much traffic going on there because everyone's going on ChatGPT, what happens to your business? But if you have a personal brand, let's say you are running Google Ads, but then if you have so much content on every single platform, when someone does go to ChatGPT, you put yourself in a better position to actually ChatGPT to recommend you, because what ChatGPT does, it even goes to Google and it goes around all the internet to search for the most content of this topic and who's the best at this topic, and it finds that. So the more content you have in the marketplace on every single platform, that sustainable model everywhere, that every touch point you have to be there, right? Especially where your customers are. Now, when someone, again, goes to ChatGPT, you can come up. When someone goes to Google, and let's say you are running Google Ads, then that's a bonus. Even if you're not, you can still be very high in that SEO ranking because you have so much content in the marketplace. And that's why I want everyone in this call right now, go and Google your name. Go and Google your name and see what comes up. And for me, when I was building my personal brand and even getting into become a keynote speaker and wanting to be out there, I never made any money from building my personal brand, right? Nothing, didn't make any money. But the game that changed for me, I just Googled my name one day. And then when I saw what came up on Google, I was like, wow. So it was all worth it. This is what it was for. So now, for me, when we get sales meetings, why is it so easy to book them in? Why do we get such a high show up rate? See, as we're building the company, I'll build a sales team. And once we build a sales team, the personal brand of the CEO is so high that my sales team, what are they going to do? They're just going to reference the CEO's name. They can now send content to prospects. Let's say we're wanting to boost my revenue keynote speaking. We can have a department that just focuses on getting me keynote bookings, speaking to speaking bureaus and all these different things. This is what can happen for you. I want you to put yourself in this, right? So now with our sales team, it's easier because those companies, they're going to ask about who we are. They may already know who I am because the personal brand's big. But when they Google who we are and who the company is, the names and the personal brands within the company are so big and dominate such SEO, the opportunity will come our way. So your goal as a CEO, as you're going through this, running your business, I'm talking about running your business from $1 million to $50 million in revenue, being a keynote speaker at the same time. Your goal is to make your sales team redundant. If I can, our sales team, their job should become redundant. What do I mean by that? I'll give them less work, and that's why we'll recruit the best people. To grow any business, you got to recruit the best people. We'll recruit the best salespeople because it will be an honor to work here. Why? Because the brand is so strong that people will most likely take action. So I'll give you an example. There's a famous entrepreneur in America, Patrick Bet-David, right? He started this YouTube channel. He has a huge personal brand. Just Google him, Patrick Bet-David. And so one day I had liked the LinkedIn post of his. As soon as I liked the LinkedIn post of his, someone from his company, which is a consulting company, messaged me and said, hey, I saw you like this post of our founder, Patrick Bet-David. Would you ever know what it's like to be mentored by or be around his business? Now, for me, because I've spent so much time with Patrick Bet-David, I'm into the personal brand. It aligns with me. If I see that message, I'm more likely to take action. It's not Patrick Bet-David who's messaging me. It's the sales team. But their sales team job is so much more easier because they leverage the name of the CEO. Now, maybe that salesperson can get $2,000 commission for maybe bringing me as a client. But because of the personal brand of Patrick Bet-David, I'm coming into the business. And I never even met him. Maybe the higher tiers, if I come in as a consultant, I'll be able to now get closer access to him. So you see how the personal brand is it's huge. You see, we're talking about billions of dollars here, and this is where we are, and this is where we've positioned, ourselves, and also how we can now help the people that we work with. So if you're one of those people who need that, who want to be that authority, who want to make their sales team redundant, who want to have a brand that when you walk in the room, people know who you are. When you walk in the room, you are someone who never had that much content out there, but you had your business, you love it, you're so passionate, but you just know you haven't been visible because you haven't had someone to guide you. You haven't had someone good to know who you are and how to get that as an authority. But now we have that position, and that's why we really try to put people through an audit, a roadmap, right? We say, okay, what are you working with? And we're going to show you that. And you may know this, that influence is the most valuable currency today. People buy from people, and you know that. 76% of B2B buyers are influenced by personal brand over the company brand. And I'll give you examples how. So again, for those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Sujiro Rubasha. This is the amount of views that we've had on my YouTube channel personally, all up. That's nearly over the population of Australia. Shorts, videos, everything. We're reaching probably over 4,000 videos. That's a game of consistency and knowing the power of a personal brand. Then my father came to me once and said, let's start a podcast. For me, clicked genius. And that's what our business had gone to be set up, because we were just doing this ourselves. And then now we're like, okay, we can do this for other people. And why? Which I'll show you. That podcast is so powerful. You guys as keynote speakers, as thought leaders, CEOs, you understand the value in having a podcast. A lot of you listen to some podcasts. I mean, how many, put your hands up in here if you've listened to a podcast? Of course, a lot of you guys listen to podcasts. So the fact that people can be spending time with you while you're sleeping is incredibly powerful. We go into meetings, I go into a meeting, they already know who I am, they've heard of my podcast, that it's like they've already spent time with me, so the deal is much easier to close. I went networking, like I told you, and I'm speaking, in the networking group. What are they going to do? I say my name, I leave an impression. They're going to Google me, and now they can go in and listen to my podcast conversations. So by the time maybe we have a touch point, they're going to be very warm, and it'll be easier for us to close a deal. Your personal brand amplifies everything. So this is an example of one of our clients. This is Jacqueline Brooker. She's a certified speaker coach, and obviously she's understood the power of a personal brand. So this is what we do. We position her there. She doesn't have to do any of this. It's her saying, listen, give you my podcast. Well, let's build up the YouTube channel. Let's build up. So now we can gain leads through YouTube, right? YouTube can not only pay us in the future, but we can gain leads and really build our empire. So this is a little bit different. Again, social media has changed. It's not about social graph anymore. Before, your friends, your mom, those people follow you, but now it's about interest. Again, on Instagram, I don't follow anyone, but content still gets suggested to me. So that goes to show, and all the content that's suggested to me is all entrepreneurship content, because it knows that that's what I'm into. So it feeds me what I want to see. And that's why the AI platforms are so good, that they will hook you on social media. This phase that we're going into, there'll be two people. You'll either be a consumer or a creator. Most people are consumers, and the AI has gotten so good to make them consumers. I know what they're doing every time I'm on the platforms, and I see it every day. And that's where it'll be split down to. So you have the opportunity to literally just be a creator. We have clients that they don't go on social media, like they barely spend time on it. Like I see these CEOs in operations, they're incredibly busy working 18-hour days, just stacked up. A lot of them just busy because they love what they do, right? Now they don't go on social media. They don't have, the only time they go on social media is just to check the posts that we've all agreed to, and they can watch themselves, and they actually feel proud because they see themselves being a creator. And that's what's quite powerful. So as a keynote speaker, if you want to be able to get more speaking engagements, keep doing what you've been doing, keep working on your business development, keep working on your sales. But for you to stand out above the rest, you need to do a couple of things. So we discussed having a speaker's reel. So anytime you've been up on stage, even if you haven't, there has to be a video created to show when these bureaus or these people who are choosing who should be the keynote speaker, that's what they're going to watch. If someone refers you to them, they're going to ask, do they have a speaker reel? Can we see who they are? So you want to be able to have that off the bat. Once you do have that, you want to just keep documenting what you're doing. So if you get booked for a keynote speaking event, the venue may have cameras there, but you should have your own camera person there. A camera person should be there documenting you speaking on stage. Once that's documented, now that should be edited and packaged nicely, so that goes up on YouTube, like you can see here. Actually, show you here. Look, this is a keynote speech that he did, right? So this goes up on YouTube. Let's say it's a 2-hour video. And so now that video the best pieces, you showing what you do and what you're about, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 2 minutes, however long, you can now use that to go and do the cold calling for you. You have a team yourself, you can post that content to draw more people into your funnel, because marketing is top of funnel. And short form content, and straight away, remember, if someone's seeing you on a stage speaking to a group of people, straight away, you can class people newbie, you can see someone, okay, veteran, or someone authority kicks into your mind straight away because you see them on stage. So that content is gold for you. That's probably the most powerful content that you can have. And if you can put that up on YouTube, long form, that people can go in and watch, incredibly powerful. And then that content can now be repurposed as an audio. People can go in and listen to it, and you can distribute it in many different places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, look at that. So in one 2-hour keynote that you did, that 2-hour keynote can last you 2 to 3 months worth of content that can be working for you. So your goal is to keep stacking that up, keep documenting what you're doing. You're not creating the content, you're just documenting it. You're not going out of your way to create it. It's just a part of what you're doing because it's part of the job. You're speaking, and that camera's there to position you. And so that's kind of a client journey that we take our clients through in terms of what we're doing, how we get the content. Once we know how we get the content, okay, what's the roadmap for you to now leverage your personal brand and to leverage this content to 10x your business, 10x the speaking engagements you get, 10x everything that you're doing. That is quite powerful. People keep seeing you on stage now. You can host your own events. You can run events here. And use the funnel, use the content of you speaking, run ads against that, right? Send that to your clients. Let people go in and consume your content. Let people go in and learn from you. Package it on YouTube. So SEO, so when people are searching for topics, you come up and you speaking on a stage, and that gives you opportunities for other people to book you, opportunities for things to come into your business. So you'll be able to earn revenue through the keynote speaking, through your business, and boom, boom, and that's how you build an empire and a business that obviously can sell for multi-millions. So thank you guys. Please send in your questions. We have our team in here. Please let us know on YouTube, comment below. Everywhere you are, you can also scan my LinkedIn. I did get a new LinkedIn. I'll be getting that back, but feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. We have our next CEO cohort starting in September. So for those ones who want this all done for you, or at least want a roadmap into how you can go there, once you have a roadmap and see, okay, how can we monetize it? How can we leverage your personal brand over the next year? And then onwards from that, that's when we know how to go to war with just you being out there, being an authority and being a legacy, something that your children can be proud of. So once we get a roadmap, we put in execution, and this is all a done for you service now. So you can just continue to be working on your business instead of in it, and leading the mission and the vision, just because you're passionate. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we look forward to being in contact with you. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Thanks, guys. That was good. All right, guys, welcome back to another webinar. Thank you guys all for coming. Thanks for joining. Put your hands up if you guys have any questions. You can have a look. They didn't adapt. They didn't adapt to the times now. And the speakers who want to be visible, who want to get in constant bookings and get their calendar full, you will be replaced by the people who are more visible. You will be replaced by the people who just have more of a strategy than you. I'm not saying there's saturation. No, everyone has their divine light on the world. But at the end of the day, what's the difference between me choosing you to come and speak and me choosing this person? If this person's a key person of influence and they have so much content on the YouTube channel, everywhere I go on social media, I see them. When it comes to this topic, let's say that's empathy, what you do, right? All right, guys, welcome back to another webinar. Thank you guys all for coming. Thanks for joining. Put your than ever, right? How can I trust you? It's so powerful, and what you're gonna see is your personal brand is really your only leverage, right? Trust you, right? How can I, right? how can I trust you? It's so powerful. And what you're going to see is your personal brand is really want to book you for your next event, what you're about. And you need such a high show up rate. See, as we're building the company, I'll build a sales team. And they actually feel proud because they good that they will hook you on social podcast. It's like we get a roadmap, we put in execution, and this is all done for you service now. So you can just continue to be working on your business instead of in it and leading the mission and the vision just because you're passionate. So thank you guys for tuning in. And we look forward to being in contact with you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
And in the UK, that is British Airways. So we have nothing to talk about. So he said, well, just humor me for a second. He said, if British Airways called you and said that they wanted to lease old used jumbo, do you have one lying around? So the guy said, as a matter of fact, we do, but that's academic. He said, well, what would you lease it to British Airways for? Just since we're having a conversation. What ended up happening is Boeing leased him that jumbo. And the reason they leased him the jumbo is they had one just sitting around. So they didn't really have any risk because they said the moment the guy doesn't make any payments, we're going to pull the plane, right? So now when you have an airline, you sell all the seats 4 months in advance. The cash has already come in. You pay for the fuel 30 days after the plane lands, and you pay for the lease after the plane lands. You don't need any capital. Virgin Atlantic got off the ground with zero capital. Okay, now if you can start an airline that needs a jumbo with zero capital, you can start any business with zero capital. Okay, so basically, when you look at business after business after business, all of them, what they do is they start small, they're embryonic, they minimize risk, they get a few customers, and then after that, they just roll with the customers, right? And then that's how they get going. So the important thing is that when we take the blue out, when blue is no longer here,
which
work is gone, yellow is going to almost double or triple because this is where all the orgasmic activity is.
So we move the work, we quit the 9-to-5 job and we move that time over to work.
I was working on my startup from 7 to 9 in the morning, and then I would come back 6 p.m. and work till 10 or 12 in the evening.
When you had a job?
When I had my job, and then I'd work on the weekend. And I was so desperate to just go full time into it because I just said, if you just let me go full time, I can tear it up. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, in about first year we did 400,000 revenue, second year 1.4 million, third year 3 million.